Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And right now, we're gonna be going over the most important question you should be asking yourself in a bear market. Should we buy the dip? Or really, what should we do in this market? And what are others doing in the community? Well, guys, before we get into that, make sure you press the like button, subscribe, and comment something down below to support the channel. If you want to, of course, it really does help out. So, a couple of days ago, we took a look at the search term buy the dip. And what we found out is that it was ridiculously high. And when I say ridiculously high, I mean ridiculously high. The highest I think it has actually ever been. Ridiculously crazy, right? Here in 2018, got to about 50. Right now, I think it was like 100 already at the start of March. And now its projection is the search results are going to be even twice as high. This is buy the dip since 2004, and really right now, more people than ever are wondering about it. Also, a couple of articles are really going in depth with this new question. For example, right now, IBD Live, Tesla down 33% amid correction. Should you buy the dip? And it's a good question. It's definitely a good question. Let's go over a couple of tweets. XRP Owl said, well, it's payday and one of the first paydays in a while where the market is actually red. Deep red. It's interesting how his payday was on March 12th, but alright. My only fear is that the market has just begun to truly bleed. My plan is to stage buys over the next days/weeks just in case prices go lower. This is not financial advice. And that reminds me, this whole video is not financial advice. It is purely for entertainment purposes only. But his general idea is actually the idea of many, and also what I personally find to be the smartest move to make. Don't go all in at once. Don't kind of skip this phase altogether, but go in phases. So right now the market went down 25-ish%. It's a good ass time to buy. Right now market cap is exactly the amount that the Fed put into the economy, $168 billion. So you can definitely see we've fallen quite far, and it's definitely not a big issue if you buy or sell some crypto right now, because it's a good price. It's very discounted from whatever you could have bought the last couple of months, so it's a good idea. But should you go all in? Well, that depends on what you think is going to happen to this pandemic. We saw in my previous video that the World Health Organization has deemed it a pandemic, so it could go down a lot lower, which is why I don't buy anything at once or everything at once. C3 Nick says, here's a tip. Don't look at your portfolio. Personal tip as well, I personally don't think it's a good idea to hold it too closely. Don't look and check your money go down every day. It's just going to hurt more than it needs to, so make sure you watch out for that as well. Dakota Diaz says, the world needs Ripple now. I have a feeling that things will get worse before something bigger comes up out of the water. And no, it's not the Kraken. Let's go. And that's a reply to KGSPQR, or speaker, who said Ripple drops OD liquidity, XPool, XRapid, XCurrent. The water references are obvious. Liquidity is the end game from the beginning, or the very beginning. I actually just now got that all the way. Wow. You know, that's really interesting that liquidity, and of course everything has to do with liquidity or liquid. Really interesting. I never thought about it that way. I'm gonna give this one a little like for the effort right there. That's an amazing reference. Ellie Afram says, when people ask me why tokenize gold when you have Bitcoin, he replied and said, in a recession, Bitcoin dumps. Well, at least that's what we've been seeing now. There's still possibilities of a turnaround, which is again what I'll explain in a second, but it is not gold. It requires internet and a working economy. Gold doesn't. So the idea behind that is gold is a limited resource, right? So you find it out in the wild, so to speak, and it will never be more, it will never be less, and you don't need anything to hold gold. Even a period a million years ago, people could have held gold like there was no tomorrow, and even if everything hits the fan, people can still hold on to their gold in real form. and thus the price of that is decided by something that's real and that doesn't need an economy. Well, everything needs an economy, but you guys get it. It doesn't need any structurized world, and thus it can always go up when the world kind of destructurizes or whenever shit hits the fan. Bitcoin, though, it needs the internet, true. It needs developers, true. It needs miners, true. And from that perspective, yeah, I guess, I see kind of where you guys are coming from. At least CWS or CSW is coming from. And I just don't really know if tokenizing gold then makes a fair point, because you're still going to need, I guess, internet then. So where's that argument? It kind of fades away. But all right, speaking on this situation of just now, in a recession, Bitcoin dumps. That's another reason why buying the dip is such a controversial piece right now, because, at least for crypto that is, not for traditional stocks, because Bitcoin right now has shown a correlation, or a direct correlation, a pretty high one, with stocks. And there's a debate of whether it's like a 5% correlation or a 300, no, just kidding, that's not possible. Like an 80% correlation or so. There's different discussions about it, because Bitcoin's move are relatively so small to the moves in stock market. And also, you got to kind of check it in terms of market cap, however big the move is, and really, realistically speaking, I think it's really correlated at this point. But also the question is, how is that going to be? Is an inverse correlation going to come? So whenever stocks go down in this recession, cryptos are going to be going up because they're acting as a safe haven, or as a move for the decentralized world, or move against the elites. Some things like that could definitely happen and occur quite shortly here, but it's a guessing game. And because we don't have the answers yet, we don't know if anything like that will occur. It's also smart to, possibly get yourself a little bit of a position, which is why waiting all the way might not be a smart idea. But also, again, buying too much, and if it doesn't turn around, it's just a loss. So that's, again, where everything becomes difficult. The Anticugs says, are we all buying the blood? My gut says wait for 10 cents XRP. Well, that's again the question. Boyd Oak says, nah, no waiting, buy all the way down from here. I think waiting for a very low position is not the smartest idea to go for. Why? Because you have too much of a chance of missing out. First of all, if markets turn around, and this was kind of a scare into a recession, if the whole pandemic situation clears up within a day or so, it could. If they just say, all threats eliminated, they just post it, markets go blooming again, possibly. If a lot of the, I guess, yields get back up, which is almost always a little bit of a longer process, but maybe they announce something crazy. If the longs, of course, come back, which is when people get more faith, that would come. Everything could be turning around like within a couple of days if all is bad. And what will happen then is maybe Bitcoin goes up in a day by like 30% or so, and you miss the big rise, right? It's just that fear that keeps most people, of course, I guess it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing necessarily. It's a good thing. Keeps people away from waiting all the way till the price goes lower for XRP, for Bitcoin, for all of these things, just because there's so many chances to miss it. And as any economist or anybody in the world will actually tell you, it's impossible to time rock bottom. And that's why I say keep buying your way down. And maybe one of the strategies there with buying your way down is just buy every 10% down, a little bit more, right? Get your average price as low as possible. If it's already below your average price, then you could just keep buying like there's no tomorrow anyway, because it's already below what you had before as an average. So it's pretty good. CZ, the CEO of Binance, said, bloodbath day. Spot depth push experienced some delays, fixed. Futures UI 500 errors for a few minutes, fixed. Some futures ADL and margin calls, no cyclic crashes. Overall 5 times system load than all previous peaks. Holding up so far, monitoring all systems. So kind of a interesting situation. Binance is so filled right now. Binance is so full of people being indecisive and people, of course, going around and selling and buying and whatnot. You can see the volume here of Bitcoin, $22 billion, Ethereum, $11 billion, XRP, $1.5 billion. It's going pretty big, all right? It's going pretty damn big right now. 24-hour volume is $43 billion here. I don't know if it's actually possible to check volume over the week, actually. Don't know if that's possible. Even for Tether, $30.5 billion in volume right now. You can see a lot of people are trading. Misha asked the question, Misha Lederman, who's buying the dip when blood is literally flowing on the streets? And you can see here all the coins with a huge downfall. Even Tether went down in this example here, which is clearly showing that it's really a crazy market. Andrea's Swedish Gold says, bring it on. I will buy your panic. Just sell more. It's another approach to everybody. It's just price going down. Keep going, keep making it go down. We're just buying more, and it's a long-term game. It's another approach to have. And Alex Saunders AU says, just bought some $6,000 BTC and $135 Ethereum, being greedy when others are fearful. And CZ replied and said, I can't buy more. I have no fiat. Yeah. So this is actually kind of a situation I have as well. I have really little fiat at this point. Almost all is invested, mostly in crypto. It's just a way to go, right? And that makes it kind of sad, because either I'm gonna have to get money out of crypto to get a lower position, which is really scary, and which is kind of the same as you buying all your money worth in crypto right now and then selling it and buying back later. It's scary things to do, right? And it's never really a good idea, in my opinion, to get out of crypto. I don't know. I just don't feel it. Sometimes a quick little sell to buy back is good, but most of the time it's just not worth the risk, because you're gonna FOMO most likely, and what can end up happening is you sell low and buy high, and I just really want to avoid that all the way. So sometimes it's better just to hold through, and if you have the chance to buy, I would just buy in a lot of layers. Keep buying your way down just to get your average price as low as possible and to accumulate as many coins as possible, because crypto, it ain't dead. I'm all against that. I'm one of the biggest bulls you'll find here. I think crypto is all the way, so yeah, it's just a waiting game, and the most patient people will win in the end, and I'm patient as can be, and eventually we'll win the race, so it's all going to be fine. Guys, hopefully you learned something from that. Basically, the conclusion is buy your way down. Don't put all your eggs into one basket just straight away. There's a big chance the markets will go down lower even further than this. I would not avoid crypto completely though, as there's still a chance for an inverse correlation and a turn up. Same for the pandemic dying down relatively quickly. Another chance of that, and there's some huge benefits to reap from that. 100% could definitely be gained in the span of a couple of days, actually, thinking about it. Bitcoin is down to 6,000 here. A move to 12,000 could really happen in the split of an eye. It's not that weird. So I'm preparing here, guys. I'm really watching closely, though. Again, don't put all your eggs into one basket. Don't buy too much at once, because there are, up at this point, more chances of the price going down further than it going upwards at this point. So be careful, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.